On today's episode, look, there's a butterfly. It just landed.
I have to look at the camera.
On today's episode, we're going to talk about how to leverage LinkedIn.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Tip for Tip, where you ask your marketing question in exchange for a tip in your industry. My name is Aaron.
And my name is Christian. And today we have Larry D. West III with SMD Consulting and Accounting.
So, my question for you guys is, as a business consulting firm, how do we truly leverage the power of a platform like LinkedIn for prospecting?
This is actually an excellent question, Larry, and something that we've been talking about recently. We talked about this on the podcast.
It's not out yet because we really recorded the podcast.
That's true.
That podcast is not out yet.
Yeah, okay, so it won't come out before this episode. But something that we did talk about was the power of native video within LinkedIn and the ability for someone like you to establish yourself as an expert on that particular niche on LinkedIn, which is, it's very powerful, and not a lot of professionals are using this, which it came out maybe a year, maybe 2 years. I don't think it's been 2 years.
It's been about a year. I remember football season last year, I did one, and I was like, wow. And it still kept the same traction. So, yeah, it was about a year ago.
So I think the number one thing that you could be doing on LinkedIn right now is video, and just doing even just with your cell phone, not super polished or anything like that. Just giving advice or establishing yourself as an expert on that particular niche.
Yep. I have nothing really more to add with that. A lot of people will tell you to go and send like a direct email or something like that, and it's really ineffective because we all delete those. But if they come and see you first, or they are attracted to you first, then that's going to be a lot more likely for you to have that conversation. So make sure your videos are geared around having that conversation eventually. So
yeah, and not just videos. Like a lot of people don't think that LinkedIn is, and we mentioned this in the podcast episode. A lot of people don't think that LinkedIn is a place to share a lot of content, kind of like we do on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and all that. But it is. Along with video, you can do longer form posts. You can use LinkedIn Pulse to do like legitimate blog posts inside of the platform. So there's a lot of things that you could do inside of LinkedIn to sort of establish yourself as a professional in that industry.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear your tip for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, my tip for today is specifically for business owners, those that are just starting their business or those that are thinking about reorganizing their business. And the big thing to consider is, what entity structure will you choose? I want to give you 5 things to think about as you're making that decision. Number 1, personal liability. How are you at risk based on the entity structure of your business? Number 2, taxes. What is going to be the tax impact of you selecting an LLC versus an S Corp or a C Corp? Number 3, filing requirements. What form are you going to be required to file, not just at the federal level, but at the state level? Maybe there's sales tax involved. These are things to really consider and think about. Number 4, although you're just starting out or you're in the middle of the business, it's about the exit strategy. At the end, when you're ready to ride off into the sunset, how do you want to leave the business? The entity structure, when you think about that, really matters. And number 5, this is perhaps the most important: consult a professional, whether that's an attorney or a CPA, somebody that specializes in business strategy and tax planning.
Larry, wow, this is definitely something that is relevant because we went through the exact same thing. We did get some advice from a business owner who told us how to structure our business as an LLC. And then later on, as we actually made more money, we talked to our accountant and they told us hey, you should probably switch to this part. I'm not really going to say what we are because I don't want to tell everybody that all marketing agencies need to be this, but we switched what we were filing ourselves as an LLC because of our accountant. So, and it's saving us a bunch of money in taxes. We paid way too much in taxes the first year. So I think that's great advice. And if you're a business owner, please talk to your accountant or even Larry about that.
Yeah, and even I think something that you just mentioned right now without saying it out loud is that probably you need to consult with multiple professionals, not just one single entity or one single business or one single person.
Mm-hmm.
Get the opinion of different people in different industries so you can reach, your maximal potential.
Cool.
Maximal potential.
Nice.
All right. So the question of the day is, when you're in your car, maybe you have a longer trip, maybe a 30 to an hour trip, would you listen to music or podcasts? Let us know.
The answer for me is both. 80% podcasts. What about you? I'm curious.
Music.
All right. Thank you guys again for coming on the show, Larry, and S&D Consulting. We really appreciate it. And if you are a business owner who wants free Facebook advertising, you've been watching this episode. We're at episode 120 something at this point. And if you've watched 20 or 30 episodes and you haven't been on here, make sure you click that link below and go to bitbraining.co/tip for tip. Fill out that form so we can get you on the show.